All right, well, this is history in the making.
Yeah.
All right, we want to welcome you to the very first episode of Little Deep Cuts, where we delve into the world of indie horror film. I'm Kurt Krauss. I'm a director-producer in the indie world. You might have also seen me on screen as an actor a few times. And I'm here with my friend Matt Ronzani. How you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about why Little Deep Cuts.
Why the title?
Yeah, why the title?
Well, because if we're going to be watching short horror films in every episode and reacting to them, we're kind of interested in just what's happening with horror lately, with Obsession and Backrooms. There's obviously something going on right now that we're kind of trying to get a hold of and figure out. And because we're indie filmmakers and horror filmmakers, I have a feature film that I shot on my iPhone 14 without a crew for $3,000, and I'm currently trying to get that distributed through Film Hub. But I'm also contemplating putting it on YouTube for free because that seems to be like a new trajectory. Had it been 10 years ago, I would have said, no way, that's like amateur hour. And now I'm like, I'm probably going to get more eyeballs on YouTube than I would on Tubi. You know what I mean?
100%. And with this, especially with Obsession, it's like the game has changed drastically.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think we're seeing in a very realistic way now that everyone for years has talked about build your following,
Yeah.
and now you actually have a group of people who've made their name as YouTubers who then put together a quality picture, to my understanding. And going back to just having the opportunity for people to have eyes on your work and to make a simple, subscription, to subscribe to somebody's channel does not take much. So you like what is continually being produced, and it becomes, I think, a pretty easy sell.
Yeah, and I mean, we're fighting anonymity more than anything. We're not fighting the system. We're not fighting, it's just anonymity and trying to conquer that.
Yeah, I mean, as things are changing, we hopefully will adapt and evolve with it, and hopefully one day strike gold. That's always the goal with one of these.
And hit the jackpot, and yeah.
Did you want to tell us anything about the short film, the story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, was it 2-3 years ago? You had hosted a writers retreat, and it was a Halloween themed right around that time of year, and you read a short story called "Just Out of the Corner of Your Eye," out of the corner of your eye. And I just thought immediately, I'm like, oh my God, that's quite the hook. That's like the next Lights Out. That's the next It Follows. That's the next, one of those elevator pitch horror movies. I can't believe that doesn't already exist, that there isn't something already out there. And so I immediately was like, Kurt, we have to make a short proof of concept film based on that concept. You see something out of the corner of your eye, you look directly at it, it's not there. So simple, so easy. So you gave me your blessing to take it in a different direction, because your story was it involved a serial killer, and it involved some guy making kind of special glasses so he could see more out of his peripherals and stuff. But it was more of an intellectual story. It wasn't quite like the visual, as far as like turning into a cinematic experience. So I thought about, what if someone who you were friends with, you get a call and you're like, oh, I know this person, you haven't seen him in a while, but he's in the hospital and he blinded himself. And that seemed like I was about to say fun. That seemed like a good way to introduce this lore of this person who's in your peripheral vision, and having it sound crazy. This person went off the rails, and what he's talking about doesn't make any sense until his friend starts to experience the same phenomenon. And, it's definitely, I will say, Kurt, it's the most legs of anything I've ever done, like in terms of like reaction, in terms of, accolades and positive feedback and everything. Everyone seems to really dig this movie. And I think that's a testament to the concept itself, which is yours.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and I've just really, really enjoyed seeing you guys posting from the different festivals. And it's wonderful to see that it is being so well received.
We won Best Director at Milwaukee Horror Con, Best Short Film at Jersey Devil Film Festival. Prince Adumegwu was nominated for Favorite Actor at Blood Bash. So, do you want to mention anything about your past film work or anything?
Yeah, I think, again, it's been a neat opportunity in indie horror, and that's not always been my focus, but within the last couple of years, I had worked on the Stephen King adaptation of Last Rung on the Ladder. That was a 1978 Stephen King story. And the quick of it is, in our particular adaptation of his story, we have this psychologist who's kind of on that level of Dr. Phil as a psychologist and celebrity.
So quack.
he's helped a lot of people, but in his home life, his personal life, he had that sister, as you were talking about, maybe those friends who were kind of in the peripherals.
Yeah.
He had that sister who had gone through abuse and addiction and alcoholism, and one of those family members that you over time, they've asked their fair share of favors. They continue to kind of wreak chaos, havoc into your life. And so at some point, whether intentionally or not, you just get disconnected from them.
Got to cut them off.
Yeah. So he's, throughout this short story, going back to flashbacks of them as children, he's haunted by this character that the adaptation writer Max Blaska dreamt up, called the Carnival Barker of Despair.
Oh, wow.
And it's a physical human manifestation of that voice inside each of us.
Yeah, it seems like a manifestation of how I feel. A carnival of despair.
Carnival Barker of Despair.
Cool. And so, what do you do with after you've done the festivals?
Finishes its run with the festivals.
Yeah.
That it goes on the shelf, and or in the vault, as they say.
The Disney vault.
And maybe,
it probably is owned by Disney at this point. Everything else is, right?
But one really cool thing with this film, with permission from Stephen King's lawyers, is that it will be playing at the 79th birthday celebration of Stephen King in Bangor, Maine. Yep. This September.
Is he going to be there?
We don't know.
Ooh,
I know.
That's so exciting.
When I watch interviews from this event from like years past, people say that they have invited him, and now whether he shows up or not.
Yeah.
It would. My guess would be, if he shows up, it would be like he does when he does a cameo in a movie. It's gonna be very brief.
He's going to be playing that guy he played in Creep Show, the asteroid, the farmer.
So I think if he were to show up, it would be brief. He would be very incognito. He would probably come and experience it like an average spectator, and then disappear into the crowds. So we'll see.
Okay, great. Well, that kind of covers our filmography a little bit. Should we watch a short film?
Yeah. Okay. I know we had a list of films.
I have a few lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
when earlier as we're putting together this podcast, we looked for like the top 5. I would say at the top 5 to date of indie short film.
Like the most popular?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so I know we have a couple of those titles. So
I figured Lights Out and Mama would come up because those both have been turned into feature films.
For sure.
Yeah.
So which one do we have queued up here?
I was supposed to queue up Bedfellows, a popular short horror film, but I accidentally queued up a short horror film called Bed Rotting instead. Does she only listen to like old nursery rhymes?
So say these are all from like episodes of Barney.
Yeah, well,
Barney
clearly
the dinosaur.
They're going for the public domain here. I'm already jealous because like this is a movie that so far is like one room, and it's gotten like way more views than anything I've ever done. So, we would classify this as horror comedy, I think, right?
It's got to be horror comedy.
Ooh. Okay. I'm kind of surprised, like, that's one that came up.
And this one's called Mama.
Mama. Yeah, I saw the feature film version as well. It's a one shot, which I always enjoy. Never gets old. Yeah, I love that creeping over the banister like that. So cool.
It's a beautiful old house.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm kind of good on the gangly, long-haired woman
You're good on
trope. Well, I'm just like, yeah, I'm good on that for a while as a visual. But this is we're talking
that's what you look for. No.
Okay, let's check out Lights Out because it's real short.
All right. So I think of that top 5 list that we had was Lights Out. Wasn't
Yes. It was an extremely popular short horror film, and I have seen it. But
nice. Well, this will be a first for me.
Okay.
So if I end up screaming like a little girl,
at least that'll help with the reaction.
All right.
Yeah, these things are like just very quick, and so it almost makes me think like I'm overthinking it, like
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that because I was like, your concept was so simple that it's like I could have kill that. The corner of my eye thing was so simple, like I could have just made like a 1-minute film where that happens and that's it. But I just I'm at a point now in my life where I'm like, I don't just want to pull off jump scares. Like I want it to be about something, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm happy with my decision, but I wonder like, would it be easier to get more attention, viral, all that kind of stuff if I had just had like a minute long as opposed to like a 10-minute drama that like in the last 2 minutes becomes a horror movie. I'm happy with the decision that I made, but the great, it's very elusive how do these films go viral? What was it about these, films that got so much attention?
Mm-hmm. One thing I think that all 3 of these have in common is that they're more or less simple concept, but
very simple.
They're beautifully shot. Mm-hmm. You can say a lot in a very short amount of time, which on the film festival side of things makes it almost a guarantee for programming.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But the reverse of it, being able to actually delve into character, and what I really liked with what you did with the adaptation with Corner of Your Eye is that there's no cardboard characters there. It's like there's depth, there's story, there's backstory, and that's being peeled back as we're also peeling back the curtain more or less to see what this manifestation is of I don't want to give too much of away, but we'd say the manifestation of this of this ghoul, of this spirit that that's haunting these these group of friends.
And that's what I was at when I was adapting creating the feature version, which I just finished a rough draft of. I thought about that. I'm like, do I want to delve into the lore of what this thing is? And I ultimately decided I don't really care. I just want it to be meaningful to the characters.
And obviously, now in putting together the feature film, you do have an opportunity to go different lengths in answering some questions, maybe leaving some unanswered, but ultimately you do have a freedom in feature film to kind of go to different levels with story and with character. We talk about an indie film, and I think it's true in studio productions too. The film that you write versus the film that you shoot versus the film that you edit, and those can be 3 very different looking things, even though the mission, the thing you were all working toward was a similar goal. In reality, it just might look different. It might cut together different.
There was no earthquake in my script, and I added an earthquake in editing because I realized I'm like this is what I need. This is how I need to end this act. And I had at one point where like those like hanging lights were shaking, and I had it's pretty easy to do like an earthquake effect, like after effect in editing. And then I just I knocked over some shelves and stuff, and I did the thing with the picture. You can like swing picture frames, and they can just swing on the walls, and then you just do that with enough pictures, and suddenly you have an earthquake, and it is so cool. I loved that part of the movie, but it was completely improvised in editing. So,
and that's the beautiful thing with it all. At the end of the day, the creative problem solving that you can do to make a very convincing, when we shot a film called Confessions of a Sailor, the big question was, how are you going to sink a ship without actually sinking a ship?
How does one do that? This is your feature film.
Yeah, this was a feature film. It was the very first film I'd done.
How did you sink a ship?
So the magician never reveals his secrets.
Well,
but now,
what a tease.
To quote our DP when we were talking about the challenge of this, he said, in the movie Titanic, the James Cameron Titanic, that had such a big budget.
I was assuming you meant the James Cameron Titanic.
Yeah.
Not the Tim Curry one?
Not the Tim Curry one,
TV movie?
which is still my favorite of the two. Nothing knocking the James Cameron one, but it's tough to top Tim Curry and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Nice try, Leo.
Peter Gallagher is in it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like, George C. Scott plays the captain.
Okay.
So really good lineup, but my quick backtrack is he says in James Cameron's Titanic, which has got this massive budget, it was huge, you never actually see the ship sink start to finish. You see throughout the film it's at different levels of sinking, and you see interior shots of water coming in. But he's like, you didn't actually sink a ship in this movie, and neither do you have to do that in an independent film with a low budget. You find ways with interior exteriors to make the ship sink.
Did you use models? Or did you use like CGI? Like, what'd you do?
For example, you can shoot interior shots in kind of Dutch angle to look like, okay.
Yeah. Crooked, yeah.
Similar to what you did with creating the earthquake, with that Dutch angle, and then all of a sudden drawers opening and things rolling off a countertop. It's like, okay, the ship is starting to tilt. And most filmmakers, I think, either know or will find out. If you don't have it, if you haven't purchased it as gear or as prop, anything you need as a filmmaker, you can build through Home Depot. It's like Home Depot is the filmmaker's best friend. You guys have Home Depot down here?
Well, yeah. What did you build?
Oh, well, like for example, we built the interior of that pilot house.
Okay.
That was one key thing, just in again sinking a ship.
Yeah.
We originally built some of our own lighting that it was almost like building these gigantic soft boxes. And that first year when we didn't have the whole budget put together, and we didn't have much of a budget put together, we actually built like a track and dolly type thing to run our camera on.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I built a dolly too. For my feature film, I built a 1960s outhouse. We got a lot of use out of it. In fact, then I turned it into a Catholic confessional booth too, because it was just one wall change. And we rigged it because there's a plot point in my feature film where a child falls down the toilet. So like we needed to safely pull that off. So the kid was able to like climb through the back and you put her head through the toilet seat, which sounds great, but it's not a real toilet. And I just thought, okay, if she reaches for like toilet paper and, kind of pulls the roll and then the paper goes, it was a way to like make it look like she's falling.
It was a tragic moment in the story, but it was probably I think the thing that got the most laughs is you see this toilet paper roll just unrolling as the
Well,
kid.
I don't think that part got a laugh because it got when the audience at the music box saw the girl and the like struggling through the toilet, like there were audible gasps, which was nice to hear. Just any reaction that isn't like "fuck that." I'm like,
so
yeah.
Apparently, I'm the heartless monster. But yeah, that.
Oh, you thought it was funny? Okay.
When I watched that thing for the first time, and I don't think I even had the whole movie together. I think it was probably that clip. But when I saw the toilet paper roll going, I'm just like, it was. I mean, I thought it was funny.
I mean, yeah, the toilet paper is not going to save her, that's for sure. Yeah. But it was a visual way to kind of show that she's falling.
And falling to a great depth.
Yes, yeah. And then we also torched it at the end. We burnt the whole thing down to a crisp in my dad's backyard. So I'm sure the neighbors found that very curious. And then for the short film Corner of My Eye, because the Chicagoland area does not have any affordable hospital sets that I was able to find, we built a hospital set in my dad's house, once again, in a spare room. And it wasn't that expensive. Like, the hospital bed was $75 off of Craigslist. We got some hospital curtains that were like $40. We built a little fake electrical board, which is just, like a couple screw, it wasn't much.
It looks legit, though.
It doesn't take a whole lot to build something like that. But if anybody needs a hospital set, is it in the Chicagoland area or the Milwaukee area, we have one. And Peerspace is not helping me out much because we're out of the radius of both Chicago and Milwaukee, but we're only an hour away from both. And it's available to shoot indie productions. We had a feature film just shoot there.
What was the film?
I don't know what it was called, but a very nice girl named Jessica, and she was making some film involving puppets, like life-size puppets, and she needed a hospital set and found me on Peerspace. And yeah, there are no, as far as I could see, no hospital set options. You know, I looked on Peerspace, I looked on Gigster. There is plenty in LA and New York, but nothing in the Chicagoland area. So
it's definitely a cool asset to have and to be able to share with other filmmakers. Not to divert too much there. We are at the 5-minute warning here
for
on the hour and
for getting kicked out of
and studio time
at St. Francis. Well, it's such a pleasure to record in a podcast studio. We're at St. Francis University, and I just like being on a campus again. Like I feel this like serene sense of student pride, even though I'm not a student here.
You could be a student here.
There's just something about being on a college campus again. I'm like, man, it's just like its own ecosystem, and I feel so calm right here.
Yeah. And I think we're going into a very good year here. Like you can really sense that good energy in the air, and so I'm looking forward to it, and certainly through the creative spheres that we have here at the university.
Maybe it's because I went to an urban university that did not have like a real campus. Yeah, I'm like being on a college campus right now. I just feel like, oh, this is like, it's like time is standing still, and everything here is like its own ecosystem. And I don't know. It's been really nice. So I don't know if we can get back into the studio tomorrow, but just being able to record here is just really, really great.
Yeah,
I appreciate this. Yeah.
Incredibly gracious hosts for us, and a special thank you to Vicky, our technician here.
Yeah, thank you, Vicky.
At the studio.
The three of us were trying to figure out the technology here, and we were like, I was like banging things like a monkey, and then Kurt had the brilliant innovation to check to see if there was an on switch on the microphone, and it turns out when you turn a switch on, technology suddenly works.
Sometimes it's the simple fix that is all you need.
It only took 3 minds to realize turning things on.
Yep.
It solves all your technological problems sometimes. So.
And if it was any other day of the year, I would have been on the reverse of that, and I would have been the one frustrated with the technology, and somebody would have just came and flipped a switch.
I'm glad it wasn't up to me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I hope we can get back in here tomorrow, but if not, this was a trial run, so we gave it our damnedest.
Absolutely.
Watched a few short films, but we'll have some more lined up. So.
And I would say in that mindset as well, I know you just wrote an article recently, so to include that link with this video when all is said and done, that folks can go read that, because
we'll include links to like the trailers for the films we're talking about, our films,
but also that article you did for
Substack
would be a nice.
Well, it'd be nice to get more clicks on it. I mean, it's for a channel called Submission Window. A friend of mine is. Just started it, so it would be nice to get more attention. But truly, like even the mistakes I made, it's like it's not a mistake because I have a feature film, and it's helped me with networking. It's helped me expand my social circles. It's helped me build crew. It helped me give me the confidence to make the short film, which is probably the best thing I've ever done. Yeah, man, just go out and make it, and don't wait. That's my advice.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. Okay, Little Deep Cuts, episode 1 in the can.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.